I was sent this post yesterday and it was kind of triggering. This is a very sensitive topic once she starts telling about her birth experience and her husband. She says, am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he absolutely ruined the birth of our child? She says, "Hi everyone. Our daughter is now 8 weeks old. So obviously this whole argument has gone on a very long time. We both have been holding grudges and neither of us thinks that we were wrong. My husband does not know I am posting this, so I'm going to keep it as anonymous as possible. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started in immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. I really do not know why he was so adamant on it, but he was. At first, I brushed him off and told him I would think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant and the birth seemed so far off. Of course, it came quickly, and my husband would literally speak over me at doctor's appointments when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually, my husband's mother sat down and talked to me, and she told me all of the reasons why they did not want me to go to a hospital for the birth. I expressed my concerns about, safety of my baby and myself, but just like my husband, she brushed me off. I ended up telling my husband that I would take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted as if he didn't hear me. We met with the doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at that point. So I went into labor. I was 39 weeks and I absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my doctor is. He wouldn't. He spoke to me condescendingly and called the doula instead. I was in labor for about 3 days, active labor for the last 22 hours. I cried the whole time. I just felt something was wrong. I was scared, and oftentimes they left me alone. The doula told me that if active pushing in labor reached 24 hours, I had to go to the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which was worse, staying in labor for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't even remember wanting to hold her. I just remember crying out of relief. Obviously, I am okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with my doctor, she was very shocked I had the baby. She was concerned. I was so upset. I told my husband that he absolutely ruined it for me. I never want to go through that again. I hear mothers say they forget all the pain the second they have the baby, but I didn't. I love my daughter so much, but it was horrible and it was entirely his fault. So I told him that several times. He rolls his eyes every time and tells me how mothers are strong and how I'm not trying to be strong. I told him if we ever have another baby, which he wants, that I will never do a home birth again. His response is, "We'll see." I cannot possibly be the a-hole here, can I? Everyone around me is acting like this is so normal, but it's not, is it? It is absolutely not normal for a husband to be able to control the wife so much. This is not right. This is abusive. He locked her in the home. Is that not kidnapping? Is that not like forcing that has to be legally like against the law. But when you are overpowered, when you are in that kind of pain, you're not thinking about that type of thing. And obviously, he is controlling her in other ways and has other people being flying monkeys to come in and support her. And from the sounds of it, she does not have a support system. So Celtic Muse Books says, I don't understand why you didn't call 911 when you were in labor and your husband wouldn't take you to the hospital. She says, because I was scared. And then someone says, how old are you and how old is your husband? You need to take your baby and get away and get on a good birth control because he's going to turn you into a baby making factory before your first child turns 1. And she says, I already talked to my doctor about birth control because I do not even want to think about having another baby right now. I don't know if I'm a good mom right now, and my husband is 30 and I am 21. That is red flags right there. That age gap for someone so young. This is why this really makes me so mad. She has another comment that goes into it further. She said, this person says, "Oh honey, first off, I believe you. You're not at all overreacting to what happened to you. Ignore everyone who doesn't think this is real. Every story has a million this has to be fake replies to it. Second, I know you have a lot of people telling you what to do now, and it's confusing and overwhelming, just like the day you gave birth. I don't think you're ready to leave your marriage, and that's okay. Remember, you have full control over what happens next. But I want you to pay attention to how you are feeling in your marriage. Ask yourself, are there times that your husband has made a decision and you have made a decision and your husband disagrees and won't hear you out? How much access do you have to your money? Do you know what is in your bank accounts? Do you have or want a job or education, but he thinks it's a bad idea? Does he have X with you when you don't want it? All of these could be signs that you are not in a good marriage. Finally, please have a good plan in place for birth control. Talk to your doctor about methods that your husband can't alter. And know that some birth control methods stop working if you take certain antibiotics or eat grapefruit. You're in control here, no one else. Only you can decide if your marriage is healthy or unhealthy. And if you decide you need to leave, then ask for help, starting with your doctor. As hard as it may seem, there is a way out. And this comment from the OP simply broke my heart for her. She says, "Thank you so much for this comment. I am severely overwhelmed. With the screeching baby, I really do appreciate the kindness. My husband is not a horrible person. He is far from perfect, but he is not horrible or evil. Even if he was, I cannot leave my marriage. I have said this in another comment, but I have absolutely nothing, and I can't give my daughter that and feel okay about it. I was in college before I got pregnant the first time, then he made me stop. I was so close to finishing. It was just an associate's, so he didn't even care, but no one in my family had gone to college before, so I was proud of it. I tried to finish online recently, but he keeps dismissing it. My husband and his family own a type of commercial business that I know nothing about. I know nothing and I have nothing, which he reminds me of often. She says that this is a good dude. He's not evil or horrible, but he reminds her that she has nothing and she knows nothing. I posted this thinking maybe 10 people would see it and support me, but now I am just terrified. He has never been extremely physical with me, but I know that he could be and has shown that in lesser and different ways. I did not want to be pregnant either time. I just been thinking him the best. I guess I still do because I can't leave. I am literally useless in every way except being a mom, and I can't fail at that too. I feel so bad for this young woman. And this is one of the main reasons why I want young women to focus on themselves and getting themselves together, having their education before they get married and before having babies, because this young woman feels so trapped and she doesn't have the experience to know that she can get away. The reason why I didn't do this post yesterday was because it is so deep and troubling. And yeah, this is just a hard one. Y'all join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. I really hope this young lady chimes in with an update, but this is just so bad. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this is an Am I the A-hole post from a woman. And what I say about these is women are simply looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. She says, my husband wants a housewife, but got me instead. Am I the a-hole? So she's 30, he's 34. She says, I am a work from home mom with 2 children, a 9-year-old son, a 1-year-old daughter. We also have 3 dogs. I recently got married to my husband. My youngest is ours, and my son is from a different relationship. Recently, we built our house and I walk our dogs on leashes multiple times a day because we haven't had a fence installed yet. I also take care of our 1-year-old while I work. My son is also into sports and it keeps us pretty busy. Yesterday, my husband mentioned that I needed to clean our dog's ears. So I said, why can't you do it? He said, and I'm going to say this once and I mean it. You are home all day. I should mention that this is his dog that he got before me, and I do all of the other chores for all our 3 dogs: groomers, vet, feed, and take them out even when he is home. I was angry, and he walked away. Well, this morning I was still angry and he asked if I was still pissed because he didn't say anything crazy and he thinks there is a lot more I can do during the day. Mind you, I work a full time corporate job from home with our 1 year old. He said I can make time for things I want to do instead of the things he needs. I also should mention that I do all of the cleaning, cooking, shopping, and running my son to sports and his dad. The only thing he takes responsibility for is pulling weeds out of the yard. We have a lawn company who mows. He's supposed to take the trash to the curb and has forgot so many times. I also pack his lunches and do all of his laundry. So I need to stop right here. His job is something that is inconsequential to the day to day productivity of the home. Pulling weeds, if it gets done or not, is not going to impact how well the household moves. But everything that she does is integral. And instead of him participating in the household and doing anything that takes anything off of her shoulders, he pulls weeds and occasionally takes the trash to the curb. This is how the inequality of things within the home becomes a burden and stresses women out. And this is why many women are knowing and understanding that once it clicks in their brain, that they would have less burden when they are single, then that is when they finally leave because she is already doing the majority of the breadwinning and she does everything else. She does extra because she also has to pack his lunches and do all of his laundry, and she takes care of the dogs. If he wasn't there, her load would be lighter. Her financial burden would be lighter. He is a burden. He is a liability because he is not doing anything, and instead, he's trying to give her more to do. Okay, she says, I am at my wits' end and so stressed out. He can tell I'm frustrated with his lack of help, and this has just sent me over the edge. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Since this has come up in the comments, we need me to work. I make the majority of our income. Edit again, since everyone is coming at me for this being rage bait or a fake profile. Yes, I created this profile this morning, and no, I've never used Reddit before. Thanks to TikTok and the podcast that read these posts, I decided to come here. The internet is a crazy place. I never thought I would have to defend myself on being real. Lorraine Smith says, I'm not sure how you take care of a 1 year old and work full time. You should let your husband know. Many companies offering work from home have a childcare clause where you must have childcare during working hours so you're able to concentrate on work, let alone all the other things he wants you to do during the day. Tequila Mockingbird, that is a great name, Tequila Mockingbird. My company has this clause for small children under school age, which the OPs would fall under. They have it because otherwise the person is trying to do 1.5 to 2 jobs at the same time, depending on the kid's level of needs. Not the a-hole OP. Perhaps you should show what you get done in the day by simply not doing it. Tatty Katz says, I keep getting distracted from my work from home by my cat. I can't imagine how disruptive a baby would be. The OP posted an update. She says, I posted this angry and probably was a little vague. I get it. My feelings were hurt. Why did I marry him in the first place? Because we may have had small issues. He always seemed to at least try to make it better and see my point. This has been compiling. I love taking care of my husband, but if it's not appreciated, then I start to have a problem. Secondly, I also was to the point. Oh, okay. I also want to point out that my husband may be on the spectrum. He is very smart, but doesn't always catch social cues or misspeaks. I have tried recently repeating back to him what he said and how I heard it so he can have a chance to explain. Last night, though, I ran my son to his father's and I came back to toys picked up, laundry started, and the dishes done. He sat and let me speak my piece. I want to thank all of you. I have ordered fair play and will use it going forward so that maybe we can work through it together. I still plan on taking a trip to see how he handles it. Sunday, I did spend the day away from the house while he handled our daughter. It was a mess, but she was happy and had fun all day with her dad. P.S. My work knows my daughter is here. I do HR analytics and work in spreadsheets and systems all day. It's not the end of the world. Ray Ed says, not the a hole, though. I have to ask how much spin you put on this. Everybody, and I mean everybody, throws a little self serving spin on these stories to show they aren't the a hole. It's only the very worst a holes that get called out because there simply isn't enough spin, short of outright lying, to make them out to be the hero. Seems like you are quite literally doing everything in this relationship. Not only are you shouldering 100% of the household burden, you are the main breadwinner in the relationship. So tell me, what does your husband bring to the table? Because from your description, he's nothing but a parasite living off of you while providing nothing in return. And she says, I would like to say there's no spin, but I get it. There is his viewpoint. I can only give mine. I am forgetful, and that does happen. I do have ADHD. I apologize when I forget things and try to move past it with him. I do 100% of the housework. There are moments when he will help if I ask, but it does fall on my shoulders. All I really want for him is to acknowledge the amount of work that I do put in. And this is where we go wrong. The fact that she does 100% of the housework and all she wants is a pat on the head is so out of pocket. And women need to expect more. These men need to do more simply because they are an adult living in a household that they make messes in, that they live in, that they find comfort in. They need to do more. And it needs to, their more can't simply be appreciation. It needs to be something that actually lifts the burden off of her, not just like, you did such a good job today. No, it needs to be more. Pinu, Pinusin Pidosa says, girl, you could find so much better if all you're looking for is someone who acknowledges that you're the only one doing anything in the household. You pay the rent, you do every household task, take care of the kids and dog. He's never going to acknowledge it because he's a misogynist, laughing my butt off. Are you really okay with a relationship where you do 90% of the work? There are men who would be a stay at home dad for you easily. And then one peacenik says, why the F would you be okay with the status quo for a few meager crumbs of acknowledgement, appreciation, instead of demanding he pull his effing weight and be a true partner in this relationship? Women are getting tired. Women are getting tired. This woman is not tired enough yet. All right, y'all. So join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of this. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and share. So a woman sent me this last night. My eyebrows raised up high to the ceiling when I read this. She says, am I the a-hole for demanding my husband stop seeing his run buddy? Okay, let's dig into this. She says, I'm 28 and female, and my husband is a 29-year-old male. We have been happily married for 4 years and have a daughter together. However, things have taken an unfortunate turn recently when he started going for runs at the track and met a 19-year-old girl. He didn't tell me about it at first when he started it, but he told me shortly after that he runs with her 3 days a week, which each run usually lasting about 90 minutes. They even socialize afterwards. Eyebrows are still up there. My husband is a former athlete, and she's currently an athlete on her college team. I let it go on for a few weeks, but eventually it started to feel that this wasn't appropriate and wanted him to spend that time with me and our family instead. I told him this and asked him to cut her off, but he told me to relax. We got into an argument and he called me insecure. In response, I called him immature and accused him of trying to relive his youth. I also reminded him that he has responsibilities and that his daughter wants to spend more time playing with him. The argument didn't lead to any resolution, and neither of us changed our position. I'm unsure if I'm in the wrong for feeling this way, but I can't help feeling jealous that my husband is socializing with a 19-year-old girl who is much younger and prettier than me. I feel like my concern is valid. Am I the a hole? Absolutely not. Men have way too much time and energy, and we don't know if this man is cheating or not. But he has the time and opportunity to cheat or do whatever he wants because you are at home handling home stuff, handling the child, and him not being there. They have too much time, energy, and resources because they have a spouse. And having a spouse at home is the way that they're able to gallivant about and do all of these things. I bet money she doesn't have the opportunity to be out and about 3 times a week on a social date that has absolutely nothing to do with the household. Because I bet money if she had the opportunity to be out and about for 90 minutes to 2 hours or 3 hours, she would be running errands. She would be going to the bank. She would be trying to do a Target run without her daughter, because that is what women do. But when men get this extra time, they can go hang out with the boys, and in this case, hang out with someone who is 10 years younger than him. Tell me that, regardless, this sounds so super duper inappropriate. No way to spin this to where this is appropriate, because he's spending this extra time. And does she have any me time, even if it's completely innocent? Does she have any me time that mirrors this? Is he doing extra things at home to make her life easier? Is he doing his part in the home? So, regardless of if he is doing inappropriate stuff to this is completely innocent, what he is doing is making sure that she never has any free time because he's always out doing extra. Cass says, it sounds like your husband is going out on 3 dates a week with a woman that's not his wife. Have you checked your bank account to see if he's the one footing the bill for all of their lunch dates? Because most 19-year-old college students usually don't have that much extra cash laying around. If he's paying for their lunches, that right there should be proof enough that he's trying to sleep with her if he hasn't already. Have you tried looking through his phone to go through their messages? Have you tried showing up at the track to see if they're even there? You can possibly look through his GPS history on his car or under his location history in his phone. There's a setting called significant locations, and it shows all the places you frequently go. I'd go into spy mode and find out what the heck is going on. If you do find evidence of him cheating, keep copies of everything and start the divorce proceedings quietly while you still decide your next moves. If you continue asking questions and acting suspiciously, he'll probably delete most of the evidence. I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't sound good. And I'm sorry, if he would have taken your concern seriously and introduced you to her, then I would have suggested couples counseling. However, his reluctance to do so, either of those things, is making him look like a big fat cheater. So sorry, OP, you don't deserve this. Wishing you and your daughter the best of luck. That sounds like a lot to do. Why do you have to do all this if you're married? That just sounds like a lot. OP says, I didn't think of that. I just checked. He does buy her a smoothie afterwards. I guess he could just say it's because he makes around 6 figures while she is still broke, but still. And they spend around 30 minutes at this place that serves smoothies and healthy food. I said an hour before, but it's more so 30 minutes. I don't know. It's still making me feel uncomfortable. Old Tadpole has a really long comment. It says, it's completely possible things haven't escalated to a full-blown affair yet, but it's definitely in the arena of inappropriate. Him not wanting you to meet, refusing to compromise, and putting her comfort over your peace of mind are huge warning signs. Maybe switch tactics. Are you guys having regular date nights or quality time? If not, that needs to be happening. Also, pick a physical activity you enjoy and start doing it 1 or 2 times a week. Tennis, Pilates, personal trainer, something to have outside your marriage and being a mother. Institute quality time for you and him just to bond over mutual interests. Make that about you two solely. Be vulnerable with him. Approach him this way, you not wanting me to meet your running partner and spending so much time, one-on-one time with a single young lady makes me not feel safe in this relationship. We're partners. It's supposed to be us against the problem. This isn't a me thing. If I feel uncomfortable in our relationship, that's our problem. And you putting another person's comfort over your wife's isn't okay, and it's very alarming. How you've handled this situation makes it inappropriate. When we got married, we made vows to put each other above all others. This isn't doing that. Speak to an older married couple that you both trust and respect about the situation and get an outside opinion. Reconnect and seriously consider couples counseling while this is still just an inappropriate situation and not an affair. Also, do not think for a second your husband nor yourself isn't capable of an affair. Everyone is. And that very long comment pretty much summed up everything. If it is still just innocent and hasn't crossed the line and they can fix it, they can fix it this way by making sure that they are dating. Because if this man is having this many date night outings with this young lady and not any with his own family, that is super duper inappropriate. But y'all join the conversation and let me know what you think.
people be like, you don't have to go out of your way to be petty. And I be like, it's not even out of my way. It's directly on my route every single time.